Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about something super juicy. Texting signs he's secretly obsessed with you. Because let's be honest, figuring out someone's level of interest through text can be both confusing and exciting. Maybe you're getting messages at 2 a.m. that makes you wonder, does he ever stop thinking about me? Or maybe he's sending random yet oddly sweet updates about his day every day. If you're ever caught asking yourself, is this guy borderline obsessed or am I just reading too much into it? This video is going to be for you. Texting is such a big part of modern dating. It's often the first place you'll see hints of someone's deeper feelings. Sometimes these hints are obvious, like non-stop messages or immediate replies, and other times they are subtle, like how he references old conversations or matches your texting style. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot some of the biggest clues that say, I can't get you off my mind. So, without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1, he texts first thing in the morning. One of the most telling signs he's obsessed, in a good way, is getting a text from him right when he wakes up. Whether it's a simple good morning or just had the craziest dream, he's essentially letting you know you're the first person on his mind as soon as his day starts. If you notice this happening consistently, like almost every morning, chances are he's not just being polite. He genuinely wants to connect with you before the day even gets started. This can also come through in late night texts. If he regularly sends, hey, how was your day, around bedtime, it means he wants to squeeze in a chat before calling it a night. People often protect their wind down time, so if he's using it to talk to you, that's a pretty big deal. 2, his replies are super fast and thoughtful. Yes, some people just live on their phones, but if he's replying at light speed with actual substance, asking you follow-up questions, showing genuine interest in your day, those are big green flags. Think about it, we're all busy, so if he's taking the time to respond thoughtfully, even in the middle of work or class, he's prioritizing you over just about everything else in his life. Quick replies alone don't always mean obsession. Maybe he's just a fast texter. But when you notice he consistently invests time in meaningful responses or try to keep the conversation going, that's a whole different level of engagement. 3, he finds excuses to keep the conversation alive. We've all had those short text exchanges where the convo fizzles out after a few back and forths. But when a guy is secretly obsessed, he'll seize every chance to extend the chat. For instance, you might mention you're grabbing coffee, and instead of replying with a simple, nice, he'll ask, oh, which place? I love trying new brews. Any recommendations? Then he might segue into something else that he's curious about, like your favorite donut flavor or your weekend plans. He's basically fishing for ways to stay connected. He'll jump between topics, crack jokes, or even ask random trivia questions, anything to keep you texting him back. This steady flow of conversation is a clear indicator that your attention means a lot to him. 4, he shares random details of his day. When someone is fixated on you, they'll often want to give you a front row seat to their life, no matter how mundane it may seem. If he sends selfies of him at the grocery store, random pictures of his pet doing silly things, or mini updates like, just try that new sandwich place, and it's so good, it's a sign he craves a sense of closeness with you. And he's probably not doing this with everyone. Sharing these everyday snapshots feels personal, and he's hoping you'll reciprocate by sharing bits of your day as well. In essence, he wants you to be a part of his routine, and that's definitely a marker of someone who's more than just casually interested. 5, he double or triple texts with apology. If you ever go a bit silent because, life happens, and then find multiple unread messages like, hey, everything okay? Followed by, miss chatting with you, that can be a giveaway. While some people worry about appearing too eager or clingy, A guy who's borderline obsessed might ignore that fear. He'll message again simply because he needs to hear from you. It's not about bombarding you 24/7 though. Pay attention to his tone. If it's friendly, concerned, or genuinely just excited to talk, then he's just craving for that attention and connection. Sure, it can feel intense, but in many cases, it's a sign he values your presence a lot and is anxious when he hasn't heard from you in a while. 6. He always references past conversations. Have you ever had him circle back to something you mentioned days or even weeks ago? Like that obscure band you said you liked, or that random movie you were dying to watch. Suddenly, he's sending you a playlist with that band's hits or dropping a link to an article about that movie's sequel. Recalling past conversations is a major sign he's actively listening and tucking away tidbits of information about you. If he's remembering the small stuff and bringing it up later, it usually means he's replaying your chats in his head, and that's a classic hallmark of someone who just can't stop thinking about you. 7. He mirroring your texting style and emojis. Another clue lies in how closely his texting style starts to resemble yours. Maybe you love using exclamation marks, heart emojis, or funny GIFs. Watch if he begins sprinkling them into his messages more and more, almost like he's matching your vibe. People naturally mirror those they're drawn to. It's a subconscious way of forming a bond. If you notice this shift, it likely means he wants to be on the same wavelength as you. He might even start adopting certain phrases or slang you use. This little copycat behavior is surprisingly common when someone really likes you. 8. He low-key tries to set up future plans. A big sign of deeper interest is when he uses texting to hint at or plan upcoming hangouts. Sometimes well in advance. He might say, "We should totally grab brunch next weekend," or drop something like this: "There's a concert in a few weeks, we should go." He's envisioning you in his future, even if it's just a few days or weeks away, and that suggests he doesn't view you as a short-term fling. It could be anything from suggesting a new restaurant to exploring a hiking trail you both talked about. The main point is he's actively brainstorming ways to spend face-to-face time together. Obsession might sound intense, but in many cases, it's just strong enthusiasm for getting closer to you. And that's it for the top texting signs he's secretly obsessed with you. If you're seeing these behaviors, especially multiple ones popping up consistently, it's a pretty strong indicator he's got you on his mind 24/7. Of course, everyone's texting style is unique, and some people are just naturally chatty or super friendly. But when you combine quick, thoughtful replies with random updates, memory for tiny details, and an eagerness to plan actual hangouts, you're looking at someone who's probably way more invested in you than he's letting on. So if you see these signs, don't be afraid to reciprocate if you're feeling it as well. Sometimes a little reassurance can make him feel safe to take things to the next level. And if it's not your vibe, that's okay too. Just keep those boundaries clear and communicate openly. Let me know in the comments which sign you find most telling, and have you ever had a guy do any of this with you?